You may start, Prabhu.
Oh, Hare Krishna, thank you. Uh, Welcome, devotees. Today's verses we are speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 40, 44 through 46. I'll read the verses, translation purport, and then we can have some discussion. 44 through 45. Kashyapa Uvacha Krutashokarutapena Sadhya Pratyavamarshanath Bhagavati Urumanacha Bhave Mayyapi Chadarat पुत्रस्यैव च पुत्राणां भवितैकः सतां मतः गास्यन्ति यद् यशःशुद्धं भगवत् यशसा समम्. I'll repeat again. कृतशोकानुतापेन सद्य प्रत्यवमर्शनात् भगवति उर्माना च भवे मय्यपि चादरात् पुत्रस्यैव च पुत्राणां भवितैकः सतां मतः Gashyanti yad yashashuddham bhagavat yashasa samam. Word to word. Kashyapa Uvacha. The learned Kashyapa said, Kruta Shoka, having lamented, Anutapena, by penitence, Sadhyaha, immediately, Pratyavamashanat, by proper deliberation, Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Uru, great, Manat, adoration, Cha, and Bhave, unto Lord Shiva, Mai api, unto me also, cha, and Adarat, by respect, Putrasya, of the son, Eva, certainly, cha, and Putranam, of the sons, Bhavita, shall be born, Ekaha, one, Satam, of the devotees, Mataha, approved, Gasyanti, will broadcast, Yat, of whom, Yashaha, recognition, Shuddham, transcendental, Bhagavat, of the personality of Godhead, Yashasa, with recognition, Samam, equally. Translation. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your lamentation, penitence, and proper deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and your adoration for Lord Shiva and me, one of the sons, Prahlada, of your son, Hiranyakashipu, will be an approved devotee of the Lord, and his fame will be broadcast equally with that of the personality of Godhead. Text 46. Yogir hemeva durvarnam bhavayishyanti sadavaha nirvairadi biratmanam yatshilam anuvartitum. Word to word. Yogi, by the rectifying processes. Hema, gold. Iva, like. Durvarnam, inferior quality. Bhavayishyanti, will purify. Sadhavaha, saintly persons. Nirvaira adibihi, by practice of freedom from animosity, etc. Atmanam, the self. Yat, whose. Shilam, character. Anuvartitum, to follow in the footsteps. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In order to follow in his footsteps, saintly persons will try to emulate his character by practicing freedom from animosity, just as the purifying processes rectify gold of inferior quality. Purport. Yoga practice, the process of purifying one's existential identity, is based mainly on self-control. Without self-control, one cannot practice freedom from animosity. In the conditional state, every living being is envious of another living being. But in the liberated state, there is an absence of animosity. Prahlada Maharaj was tortured by his father in so many ways, yet after the death of his father, he prayed for his father's liberation by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He did not ask any benediction that he might have asked, but he prayed that his atheistic father might be liberated. He never cursed any of the persons who engaged in torturing him at the instigation of his father. To the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimrantasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantakam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nami Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Swami Nami Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Padire. Okay, these verses, especially this chapter titled "Pregnancy of Diti" in the evening, talks about how Diti approached Kashyapa, her husband, for union, desiring sons, and there were several reasons why she has approached at that inauspicious time. And Kashyapa gave or pacified with his words to his wife, but she was not stopped by his pacifying words, and the union happened at that time when Lord Shiva and his associates or the ghosts, the time for them roaming at that time, which is considered very inauspicious at that time. And then later on, Diti repented. She lamented. Later, she repented, and she also desired that everything good could happen to his sons. And Kashyapa later, he mentioned that because of her thoughtful prayers or to Lord Shiva and Vishnu, that his son or one of his grandsons, which is mentioned here as Prahlada Maharaj, son of Hiranyakashipu, will be a great devotee. So this verse talks about that. The learned Kashyapa said, because of your lamentation, penitence, and proper deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and your adoration for Lord Shiva and me, one of the sons of your son, who is Prahlada, will be an approved devotee of the Lord, and his fame will be broadcast equally with that of Personality of Godhead. So she, in spite of Kashyapa giving that knowledge to Diti, Diti cannot stop, because initially the reasons given were that how she desired for sons, because the other 12 sisters of her were also married to Kashyapa Muni, have sons, and there is a very good reason that she approached to her husband. And there was another instance as well. Kashyapa and his other wife, Aditi, there was when Bali Maharaj captured the kingdom of Indra, and Indra has to hide from him. He lost his entire kingdom and opulence. Aditi approached Kashyapa, and Kashyapa also imparted this transcendental knowledge, not to be disturbed by that situation. However, Aditi could not stop herself, and later he gave a vrata, or asked her to do this very severe vrata, 20 days of severe penance. And the dwarf Brahmana, the incarnation of Godhead, Lord Vamana, has appeared. So in both these cases, if you see, the mother's soft nature is being displayed. In Aditi's case, she couldn't think of her son hiding away and losing the kingdom, and she had to go through that austerity or penance. And in Diti's case, the soft nature is displayed in how she desired sons as a mother, as well as when during that inauspicious time, whatever has happened, and his son going to be a demon, she repented, asking the mercy of the Lord Shiva and also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even that way, I can see how she has a soft nature, thinking for the welfare of her sons. And Prahlad Maharaj is a great devotee, as we all heard from Srimad Bhagavatam and various sources. How he was a great devotee, and in the next verse, especially talks about how saintly people follow in the footsteps of his character by practicing freedom from animosity. So why he's a great devotee? Wherever in the ninth canto, or in the ninth canto, I think, right? Or the seventh canto, ninth canto, maybe. There's Prahlad Maharaj and his the appearance of Lord Narasimhadev, they are all being elaborately explained. One of the great qualities is surrendering to the lotus feet, or taking the supreme shelter. Tells why he's a great devotee. In fact, he is one of the 12 Mahajans. The Mahajans are described as great devotees who are who have been who can be followed due to their taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, and the following of their dharma. So they are the greatest authorities, and there are 12, and one of them is Prahlad Maharaj. In the purport, Prabhupada speaks about how the yoga practice is mainly based on the self-control. And without that self-control, one cannot practice freedom from animosity. So the yoga practice here is talking about the Bhakti Yoga. In one of the books that I read from Gauranga Darshandas, he nicely puts the Bhakti Yoga, how it is all encompassing of the other yogas, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. So the Bhakti Yoga is a connection, is connecting with Krishna with pure love and devotion. And how it is all inclusive of other yogas. It's explained by him that when you love Krishna, or when you love your beloved, you work for him, right? Like we let's say we love our wife or husband, we work for them, we help them in the chores or whatever. So when you work for Krishna, that is Karma Yoga. And in the similar way, you you think of Krishna, like what are the processes that I can approach to him, how I can please him, what are the things that I can do. So that is Jnana Yoga. And you meditate on him every time. When you love somebody, you meditate on them too. So that is Dhyana Yoga. So the Bhakti Yoga encompasses all these things. And Prabhupada talks about self-control. In Bhagavad Gita, one of the words that Krishna speaks to Arjuna is how one can practice this self-control, mind control, is by constant practice. It doesn't just come like that. It's by constant practice and detachment that one can practice the self-control. And without that, one cannot practice freedom from animosity. So what is freedom from animosity? The next line speak about, Prabhupada speaks about that. In conditional state, every living being is envious of another living being, which we can easily relate to all of us, especially in the Kali Yuga. But in the liberated state, there is an absence of animosity. So Prahlada Maharaj obviously is a pure devotee. How he became a pure devotee is when he was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu. Srila Narada Muni instructed, he imparted the spiritual instructions to both Kayadu and also in the womb, who is Prahlad, that he already know. Narada Muni knows that he's the greatest devotee. So he gave that spiritual instructions while in the womb. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj at his young age, he was always seeking the shelter of the Supreme Lord. So a question arises that why Kayadu may also not become a pure devotee after hearing from such a great Narada Muni as well as such a great association, just like Prahlad Maharaj. So His Holiness Prabhupada Swami Maharaj, one time he explained that after Kayadu, after the taking shelter of Narada Muni, and when her husband Hiranyakashipu came back from his austerities to his kingdom, that she went back and associated back with her husband Hiranyakashipu. So due to that association, she forgot what she have learned. However, Prahlad Maharaj was in constant meditation of those instructions. So that tells that how an association brings, even though you are you have the knowledge, you have the previous practice, but the association is so important that it decides our spiritual journey. That's why Maharaj speaks about association for every how to question. And Prahlad Maharaj, in spite of such bad association or living among demons, he exhibited such qualities like freedom from animosity, self-control, compassion, and we can talk about some of the qualities maybe in the next few minutes. So, as we know, he's a great devotee. And the second one, how he is he's fearless of his father, Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu tried his very best to torture, to kill his child, who was a young 5-year-old child. And on the other side, Prahlad Maharaj tried his very best to make his father, demon father, a devotee. That is another quality of a pure devotee. One tries or one thinks of others' welfare. In fact, at the end of this purport, Prabhupada writes that after Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he asked for benediction to Prahlad, and Prahlad might have asked anything for his own well-being or his own material enjoyment, but he did not. And that tells that how compassionate he is to other living entities. The one who tortured him, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, there was something I read how they tortured him. So these demons doesn't look like any ordinary people. They are very fearful, like very their faces. Some of the descriptions says that their faces are very fearful, and their beards and hair is like reddish copper color, having sharp teeth, shouting, screaming. So imagine such a face to a very young child, 5-year-old. You can imagine how that would be. So they tortured him. One of the description that says is they tortured the tender parts of Prahlad with the tridents. So that should be very unbearable. And they tortured that way, and his father tried to kill him in several other ways. We know some of them. So it is not at all bearable that way, that the torture that they made. However, at the end, Prahlad Maharaj showed only compassion to them. And he spoke to Narasimhadev saying that, these souls are who are seeking after the enjoyment, even though they don't know that is suffering, are the souls who are actually suffering of the miseries. He wants to give the same shelter. He's praying to Narasimhadev to protect them, to give them his shelter. So, and also he prayed for his father, even though he made so many sins, he incurred so many sins. He prayed for his father's liberation. And that's what happened. The touch of his Narasimhadev actually liberated Hiranyakashipu. And initially, Diti also was happy hearing after Kashyapa said that that he'll be killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and she was happy that that she is actually his son Hiranyakashipu or Hiranyaksha. They are killed by the weapons or by the arms of Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace, and she knows that they will be liberated because of Supreme's grace. And the other qualities, maybe a couple more minutes we can talk about, is how fearless, as we spoke, even though he was a child, he was not interested in any playful things. Like he used to preach to his friends how important this human life is. We also hear these instructions from Lord Rishabhadev. He says that how a human life is very valuable, and one should not waste this life engaging in material sense enjoyment. One should constantly engage, taking the shelter of the Supreme Lord. One should be performing austerities, the tapodivyam, that he uses the words, so that the austerities, so the Prahlad Maharaj also says that he describes how one is wasting the life. He gives there's numbers, 100 years of life, how one wastes their life. The 50 years of that life, half of the life is goes in sleeping, and the 10 years of life in the childhood in ignorance, and the next 10 years the boyhood in playing, and the 20 years of the old age life not able to take care of material activities, what to speak of spiritual activities, and the rest 10 years which were remained, what we are trying to do, live our grahastha life, earning money, livelihood, taking care of family, all these kind of things, running after those things. So we are wasting about 100 years of life. Hearing this, even their child friends got inspired and they started devotion. So the faith that Prahlad Maharaj displayed is uh, is very, is not imitable easily by any other ordinary living being. Prabhupada says that this is similar to a faith that's showed by a child to his father whenever the child is in danger. So similarly, Prahlad Maharaj, even though his material father Hiranyakashipu was not favorable, he showed immense faith of his supreme father, the Lord himself. And we spoke about the compassion, how much he tolerated and how much he forgiven his demon father and his associates. So these are the so great qualities that even saintly persons follow. Is one of the Mahajanas, as we earlier spoke about, and he is one of the greatest authority that one should follow in his footsteps. I think I can stop here, maybe. Let me know if anyone has any discussions, thoughts, sharings. Please forgive me for any mistakes that I might make.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So it went half an hour just like that. So just hearing the glories of Sri Prahlad Maharaj. And yeah, thank you. Other thing I was just appreciating when you explained about Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's about how Bhakti Yoga encompasses all other yogas, right? I mean the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Dhyana Yoga. So thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Okay, you can stop here, Prabhu. Vanchakaptarubhyascha kripasindubhyacha padatan bhavnebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo Shri Prabhupada ki jai.